Welcome to a new week here on the Retirement Quick Tips podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Micciche, co-owner of True North Retirement Advisors, a fee-only fiduciary financial advisory practice managing over $400 million in client assets. If you are 5 to 10 years on either side of retirement and you're looking for some daily quick tips to help you on your retirement journey, you are in exactly the right place. The theme this week is the best investment accounts for grandchildren. The idea for this week's theme actually is spurred from an email I received from a client about a week ago, and she just had a new grandchild. In fact, it was their very first grandchild, and she wanted to know what types of things I might recommend for saving and starting to put away some money for the benefit of this grandchild. She asked about savings bonds through the federal government, and I gave her a couple of alternative suggestions. But it got me thinking that for a lot of grandparents, you have a lot of options, and most grandparents, if you want to help pay from everything from diapers to college to a down payment on their first home, you have lots of options available for you to do that, especially in a tax efficient way. So this week on the podcast, I wanted to focus on what are some of the more popular accounts that you could set up for grandchildren? What are the best investment accounts when it comes to the benefits and the tax efficiency of those? So I'm going to talk about some different options that are available and the pros and cons of each, so that if you have grandchildren, even if you don't yet have grandchildren, there's just a twinkle in your eye, as they say, you may want to file this away and think about it, because the blanket advice that I would offer is that regardless of what type of account you set up, the earlier you start, the better. And so it's my standard advice to clients that we talk about this as soon as that child is born and they have a social security number and a birth certificate. Those are usually the basics that you need to establish some type of an account. And so once you have that, which is pretty early in life, you can set up an account within a few months of life. And depending on what your goals are for that child and what you want to help them with later on down the road, that would then determine the type of account you set up. But at least you're starting early, and we want to be just like retirement. We want to start early and we want to be consistent. So I'll talk about the best ways to maximize what's available out there for your grandchildren this week. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you know someone who would benefit from listening to this week's theme, maybe someone who has a brand new grandbaby, maybe a grandbaby on the way, please share the show. It takes just a few seconds to hit that share icon wherever you're listening right now, and then you can text or email the link. I really appreciate it. It's one of the best ways you can support this podcast if you are getting value from it. All right, come on back tomorrow. I'm going to talk about why the 529 college savings account is, in my opinion, the best investment account for grandchildren. We're just starting off super simple here. I'm going to share with you my favorite. So hey, if you want to take my advice, I'd go with the 529 plan and leave it at that. But it's not as simple as that. So tune in tomorrow and come back for the rest of the week to hear what other accounts I like for grandchildren. My name is Ashley Micciche, and this is the Retirement Quick Tips podcast.